There's a really great lesson by studying hooks that have been proven to be winners. It's very tempting just to see a hook or a hook that someone tweets out or puts on their YouTube channel, but has it been a proven winner? That's really all you should really care about, because there's a lot of clever hooks out there, but how many of those do you know of or can you find that continue to be successful over a long period of time? And that's really the key lesson here is study hooks, study ads that have been on for a long period of time, because those are the patterns of success and repeatability. So the best way to do that is I took 3 hooks from 3 brands that we work with, and I took 2 hooks of ads that I found out in the wild that are unicorn ads to demonstrate this point. So let's dive right in. Here's 5 hooks that have made over $500,000, and these are the kind of patterns you should be studying. All right, so the first one is I tried product name on half of the normal use. Example, I tried lash growth serum on one eye. Why this works well is because of a few reasons. One, has pattern interrupt. No one's really expecting you to say, I tried this on half of the normal use, on one eye, on one pant leg, on one arm. So it has a really great pattern interrupt. But really this ad, why it also works well is this content creator is kind of showing the progress over a couple weeks and giving updates in the video. And in that, it shows how easy it is to put it on. Plus it adds so much believability when you can see how successful the product is over that period of time. And that's why it just crushed. Like this ad ran for years. And in fact, you could even still turn it on and it would keep working. Another hook that also works well is why have I never used product name? Pretty simple. You've probably seen ads like that that have worked similarly. Is why have I never used an invisible band before? So this is another ad that has gone on to work well. It's very short, 5 seconds, and a few reasons why it works. One is because it's so short, so the view through rate is just nearly 100%. Number 2, the close-up of the eye is very intriguing. That's important. When you have something that isn't very visual, that's not intriguing by itself, can you make it visual? And the version of doing this for lashes of this similar brand is by making a close-up of the eye, so it is quite eye-catching, double pun, but it's also entertaining. And then it adds believability really well, just showing how easy it is to put that product on. Plus, just the mass desire of people who probably want to use eyelashes, for example, of showing that how easy is it to put on, but also with that question. So what's crazy is that this ad is still running, and it's still running quite successfully as well, might I add. So keep that in mind when you're creating a hook. It doesn't have to be complicated. You could just ask the right question with the right visual that has that entertaining value or shock value. In this case, a very close up of the eye and it putting on, and that can often work. Another hook, and this is one that I love to tell the story because I'm the one that made this ad, so obviously, is take your prospect, take your persona. Who is the dream idol or one of the dream idols of that prospect, and then make a bold statement like this. We're pretty sure Wonder Woman wears our boots on her days off. A girl in her favorite boots can rule the world. This ad ran for over 2 years, and the hook worked so well that it went on to reuse that same hook over and over again for other boots, other styles, and it kept crushing. And it works because I copy hacked it. It's one of my favorite ways to write copy and find hooks is take reviews, post-purchase surveys, Reddit threads, YouTube comment threads, any kind of other anecdotal feedback loop on a prospect's feeling and words that they would use around something and use it. So for example, I actually got this because a lady in a comment on a previous ad said, oh man, this kind of looks like boots that Gal Gadot would wear in her movie, like Wonder Woman. I was like, holy crap, there's something special there. So I took it, did a quick turn of phrase with the exact same idea, used that in the ad, and it crushed. And it actually beat my expectations because it's not even a square image, right? It's a horizontal one, right? But it crushed for a long period of time at KPIs as well. So keep that in mind that sometimes all your sources of inspiration and hooks already lies in your comments, your post-purchase surveys, in YouTube comments, in Reddit threads, in Facebook group communities. Your source of inspiration is already there. You just have to channel it correctly. All right, so when I was doing this, I took 3 ads from brands that we work with, but I also found 2 ads in the wild just to show and demonstrate that you can find this anywhere. You really can. So the next hook that has made over $500,000 is actually from a dog brand that spends an insane amount of money on ads. And so what you're doing is you're taking the mass problem, the mass desire, the mass audience problem, what I'm calling here, explained by an expert. So the doggy dental crisis explained by a vet. So I used to have dogs and I always noticed their teeth. I'm like, man, why do their teeth look so bad? So as an example, if I was aware of that problem and every dog owner has had that thought, it would immediately grab my attention because this already feels like an ad, because it's like explained by an expert. So just like in the very hook, in the very 3 seconds, there's already so much credibility and believability in this ad, so that pretty much whatever they say, I'm going to believe, and pretty much whatever product that this chick recommends now, I'm going to believe and I'm going to buy. And that's why it works so well. So if you can find an expert in that field, this is an amazing hook to use. We've used similar versions of this that have really crushed. Just a phenomenal example. And the fact that it's been on for that long, since September, and with this brand that spent so much money, this ad has definitely made 500 grand. Next one. This one's really interesting because I actually think this might have been the first brand to start this trend that you're about to see. So the hook here is just stating the mass desire. The mass desire of this persona is to reduce inflammation. A lot of times people try to be too clever for their own good, and an ad isn't clear above all else. And I'm a big believer in, when you're testing ads, test hooks that clearly and plainly state the mass desire, and then the visual should reinforce why is that statement believable. So for example, these guys spend a lot of money on ads, but this ad is so simple. It's stating the mass desire and then creates the believability with the ingredients inside of it by saying anti-inflammatory, immune support, stress relief. You've probably seen a lot of versions of this because this is quite popular now, but I found this, and the fact that it's been still running since 2022, these guys may have been the first people to really start this trend of this type of ad that we see. So just a phenomenal concept that is incredibly simple, that we've gone on to test other similar versions of this. In fact, we have a beauty brand that tested the exact same concept, but obviously angled differently with a different mass desire and a different product, and it is crushing right now. So that's just a really great lesson that sometimes you just have to be simple, but be very clear and very direct, and that's also enough as well. All right, I hope you learned something from studying hooks that made over $500,000. If you enjoyed this, make sure you give me a comment below. It gives me a lot of good feedback, gives me a lot of good feelings as well to keep making these videos. Make sure you subscribe as well. But then also, if you actually need help with this and you have a brand and you're looking for help to scale your brand, in the description is actually my calendar link. Schedule a call with me. Let's have a chat. Worst case scenario, you meet someone new. I give you a few suggestions to make more money. We part ways as friends. Hope to see you there. See you guys later.